Welcome to the Real Film Nerds Podcast.
Welcome everyone back to another magical episode of the Real Film Nerds Podcast. With me as always, my brother on the other side of the planet, my PIC, because he liked it so much from last week, Mysterious Mike Talent.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
So, my name is Matt. I forgot to say that part. So, there we go. Now we're good. I think we're good. We can continue on.
Okay, Matt. Do you want me to just jump into what are you drinking? Or do you want to tease the movie we're about to review? Or what would you like to do, Matt?
Why do I have to be in charge? I can't handle the pressure. It's too much.
Oh, okay. Well, then, Matt, what are you drinking?
Well, Michael, I am drinking one of my last delicious Four Peaks peach golden ales because it is a warm day. I spent a lot of today out in the sun and I needed something refreshing and crisp.
Oh, that sounds wonderful, man. That sounds really good.
It is delightful. So, Mysterious Mike Talent, what IPA are you drinking today?
Oh, so guess what? It's not an IPA.
Man, really? That's
Yeah.
like 2 shows in a row.
Yeah, Meg's got a variety pack of beers from New Belgium. So this one is a passion fruit kolsch, and it is for a nice warm day here as well.
Now, are you drinking the kolsch because you already drank the IPAs?
There was an IPA in the pack, but I think we did drink them all, yeah.
Now, who is Maniacal Mags?
That would be my wife.
All right. Just getting it out there. Because we are going to have her on this show eventually. When
Yes.
you get another microphone and we get a movie that she wants to talk about. And it will be fun.
It will be fun.
So, speaking of fun and young women, today we are talking about a spy thriller in the vein of Black Widow and Red Sparrow, Anna. Mike, go ahead. Give us the rundown.
Yeah, so we watched Anna. It is directed by and written by Luc Besson. It's starring Sasha Luss, Helen Mirren, Luke Evans, and Cillian Murphy. The synopsis is beneath Anna Poltavo's striking beauty lies a secret that will unleash her incredible strength and skill to become one of the world's most feared government assassins.
All right.
What did you think, Matt?
I liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah. No, this was not really hadn't been really on my radar, but when I saw like Luc Besson had directed it, I really liked Lucy a few years ago. I thought that was neat movie, and he's done some kind of cool movies. So I was like, I think he was involved with Taken and stuff. So it was neat. I enjoyed this movie a lot.
I liked Lucy, but I didn't like it a whole lot. It was definitely an interesting, different film. I know this is going to happen a lot in this podcast, so I'm just going to put it out there now. I know I'm going to compare this a lot to Red Sparrow and a lot to the Black Widow because, I mean, they're mirrors of each other. But I really enjoyed this a lot more than I liked Red Sparrow. It feels a lot of the same. It tells a lot of the same elements. It jumps around a lot like it, but it's more cohesive and it's easier to follow and you don't get quite as confused. Towards the beginning, I got a little confused here and there, but nowhere near like what I did in Red Sparrow. I mean, by the end of Red Sparrow, I had no freaking clue who was on what side and who was doing what. And
oh yeah, all the double crossing, triple crossing, spycraft.
This was a lot, in my opinion, a lot better spy story. It jumps around a lot. It switches sides a lot. It's, you don't know who's coming, who's going, who's working for who's, just like your typical spy film. But you could follow it a lot better, in my opinion. And I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. Yeah, it did have a little bit of jumping around and like a little bit of like exposition of like you saw like some of the story and then they like kind of rehash it a little later from a different point of view. But I mean, that's what happens in a lot of these sleight of hand spy type movies. So,
yeah, they do like the time travel thing. They're like 6 months later or 10 years later or, whatever, which, that happens in spy movies and regular movies.
Yeah, no. But yeah, I like this movie quite a bit. It was pretty fun. What an interesting cover story job.
For which character?
For our main spy.
Oh, for Anna, that she's a supermodel?
Yeah.
Dude, well, and I was talking about this as we were researching real quick how you pronounce some of these names, which we failed on a couple, I think. But the actress that plays Anna, Sasha Luss, is really a supermodel, like in real life. Like that's her main job.
Yeah, that is interesting.
And for someone as her main job is a model and not an actress, I think she did a pretty good job in acting. I mean, yeah, it could have been better, but it could have been a hell of a lot worse. I thought she did pretty good.
Yeah, I thought she did pretty good. This was a very physical role, and that was pretty good as well. Like I was like, man, awesome.
It was nowhere near on the level of Helen Mirren or Cillian Murphy. I mean, they're just seasoned actors. They're just both fantastic, and I really, really loved Helen Mirren's part in this film. I thought she did a phenomenal job. It was very reminiscent of her role in Red.
Oh, yeah.
Retired and Extremely Dangerous. It was reminiscent of that. It's not the same role at all. Not at all. But it reminded me a lot of that because of the spy thing. And I thought that was just kind of cool.
Yeah, very cool.
All right, Mike. Well, anything else you want to add without spoiling Anna yet?
No, I guess a little bit of trivia. I guess Luc Besson likes to take models and put them into starring roles because he kind of did that with like The Fifth Element. Because Mila Jovovich, that was her first role, and prior to that, she was a model.
And I love that movie a lot. I really love Fifth Element. I'm a big sci-fi nerd though, but I really just thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, I guess that's just something he does. He did it with like Transporter 3. There's Natalia Rodolova. I'm sure I screwed that up. But yeah, I guess that's something he does. Maybe he just goes to the talent agencies or something. He's like, hey, you want to be in a movie? Or maybe he goes to like I don't know, fashion show or whatever they do. I don't even know if they still do those. I guess they do.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah, they definitely do fashion shows. Now, the clothes they wear are not anything I would ever wear or afford to wear, specifically because most of it's women's clothes. But, it's whatever. They still exist. They still do that thing, so.
Okay, cool.
All right, well, Mike, I guess I can do this because it's not going to be like a spoiler. I had a couple complaints about the film. Not major complaints, but a couple. One thing I wish there was a little bit more action. There's one specific part in the film that is just chock full of action, which I think was one of my favorite parts of the entire film. I'm not going to say what it is, but I liked it. But I think the film as a whole, I would have liked to have seen maybe one or two more really kind of hardcore action-y scenes.
Okay.
That might be asking
fair.
too much because the action that was in it was pretty remarkable.
Yeah, no, I like the action that we saw, but yeah, I guess there could have been a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm not saying a lot. I'm saying one or two more scenes, maybe. And then the second part, which isn't a huge deal, especially with an action film, but I wish the cinematography would have been a little bit better. It wasn't bad. I'm not saying it was bad. It just was not anything really special. It was just kind of middle of the road.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought the screenwriting was good. The story I thought was pretty good. The lines that were presented to us I thought were well done. The little stories here and there, like we alluded to earlier, where it goes like back and forth, the time traveling stories. I thought those were pretty interesting and good, and helped develop the overall story as a whole. I don't have a whole lot to complain about this film. Those couple little things. That's about it.
Yeah. No, I liked it quite a bit myself.
Well, all right, Mike. Then let's do it. Let's do the thing that I helped you with earlier before we started recording. Mike, how does Anna relate to the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Well, that's a great question, Matt. And you did help me. One of the actors who played Olga's technician was Jess Loudon, and he did stunts on the Thor: The Dark World.
Honestly, dude, I got lucky just clicking on that guy's name, because I was just scrolling through. I was like, well, if they're most likely in the MCU, even if it's a small bit role, they're going to have a picture on here. So I just was clicking on people's pictures on IMDb, and I just got lucky.
Nice. No, it's good strategy, man. I was getting worried.
It's all good, man. That we make a good team.
Yes, we do.
All right, kids. From here on out, we are going to spoil Anna if you would like to see it in the theaters. Mike, go ahead. You kick it off since I kicked off the other part.
So I guess as a spoiler, I mean, I guess this isn't really a spoiler that much, but the one thing that would have been nice to see in this movie, but I kind of understand why they didn't have it, because it would have made the running time much longer, and it's already at 2 hours, is I wish they would have had like a kind of a training like montage or something, because this is another movie where the character gets recruited and then it's like 3 years later. And like there's nothing about how that went, and then if there's any kind of relationships that formed during that time period. So that's about it. But I liked it. I really liked how they showed the recruiting and how she was kind of like had nothing really to live for, and she changed her life. And I think that was kind of cool. That didn't really need to be in the movie, but I liked it.
Yes, it was something that we haven't seen before in spy thrillers really much.
Yeah, and it was an interesting, because it's like she made a choice and then she changed her mind, and that was really cool. I thought that was cool way of doing that.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was a little horrifying, not too bad, just a little, but it was very interesting. And I mean, that was a great scene. I would take that scene any day over training scenes, just because of how they did it and how they developed that relationship between the Anna and her handler. Was that Luke Evans?
Yeah, Luke Evans.
Luke Evans.
Yeah.
But they allude to a very tiny little bit of training, which happens to be one of the very first big action scenes we get. And it's training, but it's not really training. It's not like they're in a school or anything. It's more her first mission, but they time her on it, and she doesn't make the time, and they leave. When you've seen it in the trailers, it's the scene where she's going through, it's like a restaurant and trying to kill this dude and finds out the gun doesn't work and all this other shit. That's kind of like the only level of training that was really in here. But I agree. I think there should have been maybe a 1, maybe 2 minute long, quick little montage thing. But you could tell that the relationship between Anna and Alex, Luke Evans and Sasha, develops throughout that training, however long it was. What was it, like 6 months, a year, 2 years, something like that?
I think it was a while. I think it was longer than that. A year or two, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it was like a year, the training. So clearly that relationship went from being, I'm recruiting you, I kind of don't like you, but I kind of like you because you're taking me out of this life, to clearly a romantic relationship over that year.
Yes, but that was the only thing that he didn't quite know was there until later. You find out.
Yep, and you find out a couple times.
Yes, you do. Yeah, no, I thought it was pretty neat the way all these like love like triangles and all that stuff. That was interesting as well.
Yes, that was very interesting. I mean, it was very Red Sparrow-y, but with like lovers. It was very wild, very wild. The FBI agent, the KGB agent, wow, yeah. The girlfriend she had in the modeling agency. I mean, she was living life to the fullest.
Yes. She was, as the kids say, living her best life.
The kids, the millennials?
I don't know who says that, but it seems like I'm hearing that all the time now.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. I live in the opposite spectrum, so.
Ah, okay. Gotcha.
You want any 50s slang? I got it.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, man, I don't know more, what else more we can talk about this movie. This one, I mean, I think you should see it in the theaters because it's kind of fun. Because of some of the action stuff, but it's not, you don't have to.
I will tell you what I want to talk about. My favorite scene of the entire movie.
Okay, go for it. What is your favorite scene?
There's a time period that passes, and they do a montage. And it is a murder montage. And I just thought it was very unique, very well done. But it was just basically assassination after assassination after assassination. Like probably 30 or 40 of them knocked out in like a period of 2.5 minutes. And I just thought it was a really interesting, unique take on the montage. Because think about it. It's like an action film. It's a spy thriller. And they chose to do the most active action part of kind of the film, other than the escape at the end, as a montage and like rush through it. And I thought that was really unique and really interesting. I hadn't seen a montage like that before.
Yeah, no, it was cool. And it was done to a song by NXS. Was it Suicide Blonde? I'm trying to think of what the name of the song was. But, yeah. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it just was, I really, really enjoyed it. Yes, it's dark and it's gritty and it's murder, but it was very interesting how they did it. I'm sorry, it was. I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, no, it was cool. For sure.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know what else we could really talk too much about. I mean, it's hard because we both really enjoyed this film, and I think we've gotten it all out. It's, the whole lack of action isn't bad. I just wish there was more, because there's a lot of plot development. There's a lot of story development. There's a lot of backtracking. That's where I got a little confused, specifically at the beginning, where they were like, they jump forward in time, and then they jump back in time, and then they jump like halfway through time again. And that got kind of confusing to me at points. Like, at one point, nobody has a cell phone. At another point, everybody has cell phones. But I thought that was not that time period, but it was. And I got a little confused, but that was only at the beginning. Nowhere near as confusing as Red Sparrow. Like, that movie really just confused the living hell out of me. It was, now you're a traitor, now you're on this side, now you're on this side, now you're on that. It was just so back and forth. And that's one thing, I said it earlier, but I applaud this movie, is it's not as wild as Red Sparrow is in that aspect.
Yeah, it does go back and forth a few times, and it was a little bit confusing on exactly where you were at in the story. But for the most part, it cleared itself up. I think it was only some of the stuff in the beginning. Yeah,
I agree. I think it was just the beginning. And it's just because you sit down and you're just getting into it, and it's just, okay, all right, now there's heads, okay?
Yeah.
And that was one that messed me up, because he got all these heads in Priority Mail UPS boxes, but Priority Mail didn't exist in the 80s. So
It's just a minor continuity problem.
I know. I'm getting nitpicky. I know. I'm sorry, Michael. I'll stop it. All right. Well, let's do it. Mike, how many reels do you give Anna?
I'm going to give Anna 3.5 reels.
Wow. I thought you were going to give it more than that. I am sorely disappointed in you, Michael.
Well, are you going to go higher than me?
No, I was going to give 3.5 reels too.
What do you got? Oh, no, we're the same.
Yeah, I know.
We haven't been the same in a while, though. That's okay.
It's okay. It's passable. We're allowed to do it.
Yeah. And for the listeners, we don't talk about what our ratings are before we give them. So it's kind of like we both find out live on the recording.
Live on the recording. Recorded live. Love it. Yeah, no, we don't. And the other thing we don't do is, and it's probably a good thing, especially with us trying to be objective and have our own opinions about the film, is we really don't talk about it before we sit down on the pod. Like, I might, text you, because we typically will see the films at different times, definitely different days mostly. And I'll text Mike. I was like, hey, I think I hit you first. I saw it on Saturday. And I texted you. I was like, and it was good, but it was, I wish there was more action. And that was all I said.
Yeah. Usually it's one line.
Yeah. And I personally try to do that on purpose, and I'm sure you do the same, just so that we can hash out our opinions here on the show for all of you lovely, lovely listeners who still have not emailed me to win a free copy of Lone Survivor Digital HD. And, there is going to be an expiration date on this shit, because it's an ultraviolet code, and ultraviolet shuts down on July 31st. So if you want this code right here, you need to send an email in at nerds@realfilmnerds.com with Mike's favorite sandwich from last year in a movie. If not, I'm just going to give the code to Mike. And I'm sure he already owns Lone Survivor.
Yeah.
All right, Mike. So should we talk about what we're going to try and review? I know we might try and do 2 this week. I haven't seen our second film yet. I don't think you have either.
No, I haven't had a chance. I might try and see it soon.
I was thinking about either going this evening or going on tomorrow night, possibly. I'm not sure which would fit better in my schedule. Probably tonight, I'm thinking. But I do kind of want to see it because I'm getting mixed reviews on the things I've heard about it. I haven't read any reviews. I haven't watched any reviews. I just get little headlines and snippets on the old social medias, And from what I've seen on the different movie websites and different movie news outlets, I guess you would say, they're not really news, but I'm getting mixed reviews, man. I got people that just absolutely hate the new Child's Play and people that love it and think it's very intriguing.
I am interested to go see it. This movie was the movie that disturbed me a lot as a kid, so we'll see how I do on this one.
It makes me want to see it more because people are so conflicted. And also Aubrey Plaza. I'm a big fan of Aubrey Plaza. Mark Hamill's the voice of Chucky. Goes without saying, have a man crush on Mark Hamill because he is, Luke Skywalker, my dog.
Yeah.
It has a good cast. I mean, even Brian Tyree Henry, he's a fantastic actor. So it has a pretty solid cast. And it's an interesting take based on the synopsis of what Chucky is and how he gets his thing. So I do want to see it. And it's only 90 minutes. It's an hour and a half runtime. So if we can squeeze it in, I think we should. But again, it's that horrible, horrible thing. Oh, God, what's it called? I always forget.
Money?
No. That's definitely a part in my world. Life. Life always gets in the way.
Oh, life, yeah. Okay.
So anyways, all right, Mike. Well, hopefully that'll be our next one. Will be Child's Play. If not, I have a film that's coming out next week that I would like to review, and I was going to hopefully try and get a special guest on, but I don't know if that's going to happen, specifically because I'm going to be in Phoenix next week. And so he lives in Phoenix, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get him on for our pod. We'll see. I'll I'll have to discuss it with him. But that is Danny Boyle's interesting film called Yesterday.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I really want to see that movie. I know you want to go see probably Annabelle more, but I really like the idea of Yesterday. It looks really neat.
No, I'll go see that. It looks fun.
Yeah. And I was going to have my good buddy, listener of the pod, he just was at my house this weekend. He is, out of all my friends, definitely the biggest Beatles fan.
Okay.
And I want to try and get him on. That's Mr. Steven Stockmar. We'll see. I'm going to work it.
All right, cool.
I don't know. Maybe I can get him to call in on Skype. I don't know if we could do a 3-way call, but I think it would be fun to get his take on it just because he's such a diehard Beatles fan. And for those of you who do not know anything about Yesterday, the film Yesterday, basically the Beatles don't exist except for this one guy knows, and he has all their songs memorized, and he also happens to be a musician. So guess what? He capitalizes on that and becomes ultra famous.
Yeah, no. So it definitely looks interesting.
So, all right, Mike. Well, anything else you want to add today's pod there, brother?
No. It was fun. On a side note, I'm looking forward to the new Stranger Things Season 3. Comes out July 4th.
Dude, is it coming out July 4th? I saw they dropped the trailer the other... I need a drink. I saw they dropped the trailer the other day, but I haven't had a chance to watch it. Have you watched it?
Yes, I saw the trailer. I'm interested.
Well, give us a little rundown on the trailer, Mike. What's happening? What's happening?
Oh, still stuff's going down in Hawkins and 11's going to be there, and there's going to be some monsters, and
yeah, I heard it's like a kind of like revengey, like the monsters are coming after the town.
Yeah, it's interesting. So
nice. I need to watch that. But
yeah, no. So that's all I got really on the horizon, and
have you watched Chernobyl yet?
No, I haven't.
Michael,
I will.
It's good. It's real good. For those of you out there, you need to do yourself a service and watch it. It is a fantastic show. Show of the year, in my opinion. Show of the year.
All right. Well, I'll get to it. But awesome. Other than that, I guess that's about it, man. Yeah. So I guess with that, man, I'll wrap it up. Thanks everybody for listening, and yeah.
Thank you for listening to The Real Film Nerds. Now don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Real Film Nerds. Now go out and catch a movie.